Hi guys, as the river trout season draws to a close, it's time for many of you to start looking forward to the season of grayling fishing this winter. Now in front of me I've got a selection of some of my must-have grayling items that I carry in my bag, or suggestions for you guys for new tackle to improve your grayling catches this winter. So I'm sure many of you know and have heard of Euro nymphing before. It's become incredibly popular amongst anglers. It's a very effective method of fishing, and one of the lines that's been made for this is the Rio Euro nymph. This technical Euro nymph is a newer version of it, really fine mono core throughout the whole thing, and giving you a bright red indicator leader towards the end. So if you've got a designated Euro nymphing style outfit, this is a great buy for you to be able to go out and really get the best out of that technique. Now, if you're someone that's relatively new to Euro nymphing, or for instance you don't want to invest in having a specific setup with, for instance, the technical nymph on there full time, a really good addition is the Euro nymph shorty. Now this is just a 20-foot Euro nymph style fly line. Now the beauty of this is you can be fishing dry fly or nymph or whatever type of technique you want. All of a sudden you decide you want to have a go with some Euro nymphing. All you do is you add this loop to loop onto the end of your existing fly line, and then on the end of that you can add your leader. So it's something that you can put on and take off as and when you need. So it's a really useful piece of kit to carry around on that occasion where you think, do you know what, that bit of water would probably be really well fished with a Euro style nymph. This is the perfect setup for you. Now when it comes to nymphing, there's loads of different ways of seeing your indication from when you get a take. Now I became quite a big fan when I was down in New Zealand of fishing with wool rather than some of the more traditional sort of twist on or stick on type indicators, and I use this an awful lot now. It's the Loon Strikeout yarn. Now this comes in a really handy little tub that you can attach onto your jacket, and it's got a little hole in the middle so you can just feed the yarn out through the middle of it. This is a really buoyant indicator yarn, and the beauty of that is it weighs nothing and you can put it wherever you want on your cast. So this is just a simple piece of nylon here and a small piece of the yarn, and just simply by folding it over on itself, popping my fingers through and pulling back again, you form basically a little slip loop. I can take that bit of yarn, pop it into the middle wherever I want to position it on my leader, and there it is, just pops up in the middle. So I can adjust that and I can take it on and off, and I can just, once I've used a piece, all I do is I pop it back in there. So I'm trying not to go through it discarding it every time I fish. I try and keep them going as much as possible. The beauty of that is it weighs nothing, gives you really good, fine, delicate presentation. Will hold up a nymph very happily, but equally when a fish takes, it's very quick to disappear. So it's a really good thing to carry around in your pocket. If you're not into the Euro nymph style, or you don't want to fish with indicators and you want to go traditional, making sure that the end of your fly line floats really high and clear is really essential. So I always have a tub of mucilin with me, and this is just a great floatant with a little pad there, and all you do, take the pad, wipe it onto there, and then make sure at least the last 3 or 4 feet of your fly line floats really high, so if you get a take you'll be able to see that fly line just jolt away and it won't be getting pulled under by either the current or your flies underneath. Now I know some people get really sort of technical about the temperatures and air pressure and things like that, but one thing that's really useful to carry around is just this little 3-in-1 thermometer from C&F. Now the nice thing about this, it's got a thermometer running through the middle of it. On the bottom it's got a magnet, so if you drop your fly in the grass you can use that just to search around and hopefully recover that fly. And the other great thing about this as well, whenever we go fishing we always end up having some excess material that we need to bin at the end of the day. Now with this, it's got this really useful little wrap down the side, and all you do is you take your leader and wrap it around this, and you store any used bits of nylon or fluorocarbon that you've been using through the day, and when you get home you can simply snip up the side of it and cut it into small manageable pieces and discard it in the bin. So it's a great one not only for knowing the water temperature or the air temperature, particularly if you're having a very good day and the fish are feeding well. I know some of you keep notes and records on your day's fishing, so it's always interesting just to have the thermometer with you, with a couple of other really useful features inside of that. Now grayling is one of those fish that lots of people find it very hard to estimate how much they weigh. I've seen plenty of people say that they've had a 2-pound grayling and the fish really, to be honest, is barely much more than a pound. They're very deceptive when it comes to their actual weight. So I always carry around a pair of scales with me, and this is just the little gems. These ones in particular weigh up to about 15 pounds, and it's just simply a case of popping them onto your net or zeroing it to your net, and then wherever that goes down, that central collar around there will stop wherever the scales drop to, so you'll get a fairly accurate weight of what that fish is. This is more just for a bit of a personal record of making sure I know how much the fish weighs, but also giving an honest and accurate reflection of how much the fish weighs as well. So they're always useful to carry around with you, and something that I never go fishing in the winter without: a set of hand warmers. Now these ones are great. There's loads of different hand warmers on the market, but these ones in particular are just activated by air. So if I was to rip this open and take the packet out, there's 2 separate packets. Very quickly, just by rolling it around in my hand and it mixing with the air as well, these start a chemical reaction which starts them to warm up. There's 2 of them, so you can have one in each pocket. Particularly if you've got a set of waders or a jacket with hand warmer pockets, I find them really useful, particularly if I'm guiding in the winter. And it just keeps your hands a bit warmer, because I'm not a massive fan of wearing gloves. I like to be able to feel and touch everything with my actual hands rather than through a glove, and this just keeps my hands nice and warm. So a really useful set of stuff in front of you for the coming grayling season, through from lines to presentation, a couple of other bits and pieces, and of course your all important hand warmers at the end. So if you're looking forward to the grayling season, have a look at some of these items, and best of luck for the coming winter grayling season.